Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Shok Sharma, Assistant Professor, Department of Biochemistry, All India Institute of Medical Sciences, New Delhi. Today we are going to talk about module Mechanisms of Simple Diffusion and Facilitated Diffusion, Diffusion into Compartment and Multi-Compartment Systems. As we studied in previous modules, the contents of a cell are separated from the surrounding extracellular fluid by plasma membrane. In addition, membranes associated with mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, lysosomes, the Golgi apparatus, and the nucleus divides the intracellular fluid into several membrane-bound compartments. The movements of molecules and ions both between the various cell organelles and the cytosol and between the cytosol and the extracellular fluid depends on the property of these membranes. The rate at which different substances move through the membrane vary considerably and in some cases can be controlled, increased or decreased in response to various signals. In these modules, we concentrate on the mechanism of diffusion and their regulation in different compartment system. So, objective of these modules are to study the mechanism of simple diffusion, second, to explore the mechanism of facilitated diffusion, and finally, to study the diffusion in two compartment and multi-compartment systems. As you know that the molecules of any substance like solid, liquid or gas are in a continuous state of motion or vibration, and the warmer a substance is, the faster its molecules move. You should know that the average speed of this thermal motion also depends upon the mass of the molecules. At body temperature, that is 37 degrees centigrade, a molecules of water moves at about 25,000 km per hour or 1500 miles per hour. Whereas a molecules of glucose, which is 10 times heavier, move at about 850 km per hour. In solutions, such rapidly moving molecules cannot travel very far before colliding with other molecules, as shown in this figure. They bounce off each other like rubber balls, undergoing millions of collisions every second. Each collision alters the direction of the molecule's movement, and the path of any one molecule becomes unpredictable. Since a molecule may at any instant be moving in any direction, such movement is said to be random, meaning that it has no preferred direction of movement. The random thermal motion of the molecules in a liquid or gas will eventually distribute them uniformly throughout the container. Consider two systems, S1 and S2, at the same temperature and capable of exchanging particles. If there is a change in the potential energy of a system, for example, mu1 is greater than mu2, mu is a chemical potential energy, an energy flow will occur from S1 to S2. Because nature always prefers low energy and maximum entropy. Thus, if we start from a solution in which a solute is more concentrated in one region than another, as shown in this figure, random thermal motion will redistribute the solute from regions of higher concentration to region of lower concentration until the solute reaches a uniform concentration throughout the solution. Thus, this movement of molecules from an area of higher concentration to the area of lower concentration solely as a result of their random thermal motion is known as diffusion. Steady state diffusion. The steady state diffusion of the molecules is typically described mathematically by using Fick's law of diffusion. According to this law, the flux goes from region of higher concentration to region of lower concentration with a magnitude that is proportional to the concentration gradient or spatial derivatives, or in simplistic terms, the concept that a solute will move from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration across a concentration gradient. Consider diffusion of a solute atom B as shown in this figure in the solid state solution AB in direction x between two parallel atoms plane separated by delta x as shown in this figure. If we consider that there is no changes with time in Cb at this plane, such diffusion condition is called steady state diffusion. For steady state diffusion, flux, that is flow, J of atom is J is equal to d divided by dc by dx. Here J representing the flux of atoms meter square, the number of particles which pass through a unit area in a unit time is called flux, and d is the diffusivity or diffusion coefficient, which is represented by meter square by per second, and dc by dx representing the concentration gradient of the atoms. In this steady state diffusion condition, the net flow of atom is equal to the diffusivity, that is represented by d, and diffusivity is proportional to the square velocity of diffusing particles, which depends on the temperature, viscosity of the fluid, and the size of the particles. In dilute aqueous solution, the diffusion coefficient of most ions are similar and have values that at room temperature. Area in the range 0.6 into 10 to power minus 9 to 2 into 10 to power 9 meter square per second. Importantly, for biological molecules, the diffusion coefficient normally range from 10 to power 11 to 10 to power minus 10 meter square per second. Here, in that formula, negative sign basically representing the flux direction is from the higher to the lower concentration, that is, it is opposite to the concentration gradient. The concentration gradient is how fast the concentration changes at each position, or the slope of the line tangent to the concentration curve. This slope of the line drawn tangent to the curve at x is equal to minus 0.5 is the gradient of the concentration at that position. Here are a couple of other assumptions we also need to make about the state of the system. First, the solution on both sides of the membrane are homogeneous. By this, we mean that solute is evenly mixed, so there is no active diffusion taking place within a site. Second, the membrane is not changing width, so the distance between the sides is also constant. The diffusivity depends on the flowing factors. First, diffusion mechanism, temperature of the diffusion, and type of the crystal structure, that is like BCC or FCC. crystal imperfections, and concentration of the diffusing species. This table representing the diffusivity of different atoms. Now next we discuss the non-steady state diffusion. As you know that in many real situations, the concentration profile and the concentration gradient are changing with time. The changes of the concentration profile can be described in this case by differential equation called Fick's second law. Thus, the non-steady state of diffusion is defined by second law of diffusion as shown in figure. The change in concentration in two semi-infinite rods of copper and nickel caused by diffusion, the rate of composition changes is equal to the diffusivity times the rate of the changes of the concentration gradient. In practice, the concentration of solute atom at any point in the material changes with time. This is called non-steady state diffusion. For non-steady state condition, diffusion coefficient D is not dependent on time. So facility diffusion, as we already discussed in previous module, it is a kind of passive transport in which polar substance crosses a biological membrane through a protein transporter down its concentration gradient. Water required transporter to get transported across the membrane, thus it undergoes the process of facilitated diffusion. The mechanism of facilitated diffusion we are explained by the Michael-Menten equations. As we know, the protein which is involved in the transport of molecules, the kinetics of molecular transport is similar to the enzymatic kinetics, and the rate equation for molecular transport is explained by Michael-Menten equation. Here, V0 is initial velocity of accumulation of glucose inside the cell when its concentration is surrounding medium is represented substrate out, and K is the constant of transport. So, see in this graph which representing the Michael-Menten equations and double reciprocal plots, the initial rate of glucose entry into the erythrocytes and V0 depend on the initial concentration of glucose on outside. The diffusion in two-compartment and multi-compartment system are distinguished. The diffusion coefficient for these two types of diffusion are generally different because the diffusion coefficient for chemical diffusion is binary and it includes the effects due to correlation of the moment of the different diffusing species. Tracer diffusion and self-diffusion, basically these are spontaneous mixing of molecules taking place in the absence of concentration gradient and can be followed using isotopic tracers. Measurement of self-diffusion coefficient is pulsed field gradient called PFG NMR, nuclear magnetic resonance, where no isotopic tracers are needed. In chemical diffusion, it is a presence of concentration gradient, always a non-equilibrium process, increases the system entropy and bring the system closer to the equilibrium. So, self-diffusion is the diffusion in one component material when all atoms that exchange positions are of the same type. As shown in this figure, to jump from lattice side to the lattice side, atoms need energy to break bonds with neighbors, and to cause the necessary lattice, distortions during jump. This energy comes from the thermal energy of atomic vibrations. The direction of flow of atoms is opposite the vacancy flow direction. Interstitial diffusion is generally faster than vacancy diffusion because bonding of interstitial to the surrounding atom is normally weaker and there are many more interstitial sites than vacancy site to jump to. So, possible mechanisms of self-diffusion and their activation energies are neighbors atom exchanges sites, ring mechanisms, vacancy mechanisms, direct interstitial mechanism and indirect interstitial mechanisms. Now we discuss about activation energy. To jump from lattice site to lattice site, atom need energy to break bonds with neighbors and to cause the necessary lattice distortion during jump. As I will discuss in previous slide, energy necessary for motion, that is EM, is called the activation energy as shown in this figure for the vacancy motion. Schematic representation of the diffusion of an atom from its original position into a vacant lattice site. The activation energy EM has to be supplied to the atom so that it could break interatomic bonds and to move into new position. The average thermal energy of the atom is 0.026 electron volt for room temperature, is usually much smaller than the activation energy, that is approximately 1 electron volt per atom, and a large fluctuation in energy when the energy is pulled together in a small volume is needed for a jump. The probability of such fluctuation or frequency of jumps depends exponentially on the temperature and can be described by equation that is attributed to Swedish chemist Arrhenius. The flow of the solute through the membrane will also depend upon the permeability of membrane. Some membranes can be permeable for all solutions. Some can be let through virtually nothing. Permeability P is going to depend upon three things. P depends on D. D is the diffusion coefficient, which is determined by the size of the particles diffusing and the solution being diffused through. Particles with a higher diffusion coefficient also have a higher permeability. That means P increases when D increases. Second point, P also depends on thickness of the membrane. Permeability is higher when membrane is thinner. That is, P decreases when delta X increases. Now, third point, permeability also depends upon K. Molecules that are slippery like lipid having a high value of K, while charged particles like the ions from salt have a low value of K, and K can vary over whose range. So, P increases when K increases. So, P is directly equal to Kd by delta X. The unit of P is centimeter per second. The diffusion rate increases as we increase the area of cross-section of the membrane, as shown in this figure. Area plays an important role when we think about the scaling and the issues like area of lungs. The diffusion occurs faster on the right side image as it has more area of membrane for the diffusion to take place. Few applications of two and multi-compartment diffusion we discuss below. In cell biology, diffusion is a main form of transport for necessary materials such as amino acids within the cells. Diffusion of water through a partially permeable membrane is classified as osmosis. During respiration, the metabolism and respiration rely in part upon diffusion in addition to bulk or active process. For example, as on this figure, in the alveoli of the mammalian lungs, due to differences in partial pressure across the alveolar capillary membrane, oxygen diffuses into the blood and carbon dioxide diffuses out. The lung contain a large surface area to facilitate this gas exchanges process. Diffusion of oxygen inside the eye. The eyes lack a great number of blood vessels which carry oxygen that diffuses into cell by the process as discussed above, and must have an extra supply of oxygen. The atmosphere provides a extra needed oxygen which is consumed by the eye by diffusion of oxygen through the cornea, the hard outer covering on the eyes. The next example of two-compartment diffusion, the transdermal patch, is also used, which consists of adhesive layer that attaches it into the skin and a reservoir that holds the medicine. The medicine must first diffuse out of the reservoir and onto the skin and then through the skin and into the blood stream. Another good example of two-compartment diffusion is the dialysis. Dialysis work on the principle of diffusion and ultrafiltration of fluid across the semi-permeable membrane. Blood flow by one side of a semi-permeable membrane and a dialysate or special dialysis fluid flow by the opposite side. This replicates the filtering process that takes place in the kidney. When the blood enters the kidney and the large substances are separated from the smaller ones in the glomerulus, the counter current flow of the blood and dialysate maximizes the concentration gradient of solute between the blood and dialysate, which helps to remove more urea and creatinine from the blood. The concentration of solute, for example potassium, phosphorus and urea, are undesirably high in the blood but low or absent in the dialysis solution, and constant replacement of the dialysate ensure that the concentration of undesired solute is kept low on this side of the membrane. The dialysis solution has levels of minerals like potassium, calcium and are similar to their natural concentration in healthy blood. For another solute, bicarbonate dialysis solution have a set at a slightly higher level than in normal blood. Bicarbonate dialysis solution level is set at a slightly higher level than in normal blood to encourage diffusion of bicarbonate into the blood to act as pH buffer to neutralize the metabolic acidosis that is often present in these patients. Two-compartment diffusion also play a crucial role in transportation of nutrients in body. The main system of transporting nutrients to the body cells is through the bloodstream. But once nutrients arrive at the needy cells, it is still inside a blood vessels while the cell lies outside. The lack of nutrients inside the cell, the between the cell and the blood vessels create a concentration gradient as shown in this figure between the blood vessels and the cell. Due to the lower concentration in the cell, the nutrients diffuses through the blood vessel wall into the cell. Diffusion weighted imaging of MR, magnetic resonance imaging, based upon measuring the random Brownian motion of water molecules within a voxel of tissue, hence allows the mapping of the diffusion process of molecules, mainly water, in biological tissues. And densely cellular tissues are those with cellular swelling exhibit lower diffusion coefficient. Thus, in tumor characterization and cerebral ischemia, MRI is popularly used. Diffusion of water inside a voxel of brain tissue, for example, is hindered primarily by cell membrane boundaries, thus represent diffusion in a number of compartments. So, diffusion within the intracellular fluids, for example, within the cytoplasm generally, or within the organelles, and second, diffusion within the extracellular fluid like interstitial fluid, intravascular and lymphatic, and various biological cavities, example ventricles of the brain. Magnetic resonance imaging methods came into the existence in mid-1980s, and molecular diffusion in tissues is not free but reflects interactions with many obstacles such as macromolecules, fibers and membranes. Water molecule diffusion pattern can therefore reveal microscopic details about tissue's architecture, either normal or disease state. The MRI use magnetic spin property of portion of hydrogen to elect images. To obtain diffusion weighted image, a pair of strong gradient pulse are added to the pulse sequence. The first pulse dephases the spins and the second pulse rephases the spin if no net movement occurs. If net movement of spins occur between the gradient pulses, signal attenuations occur. The degree of attenuation depends on the magnitude of molecular translation and diffusion weighting. In this figure, the region of high mobility appear dark, which representing the rapid diffusion, while the region with low mobility appear lighter, which representing the low diffusion of multi-compartment system. So, students, let's now summarize what we have learned in this module. We study about the diffusion, and this is the movement of particle in a solid from an area of higher concentration to the area of lower concentration, resulting in the uniform distribution of the substance. Second, we also study how Fick's law regulates the diffusion, both for steady state diffusion and as well as non-steady state diffusion. In steady state diffusion, conditions when no change in the system with time, the net flow of atom is equal to the diffusivity d times the diffusion gradient dc by dx. And Fick's second diffusion law, according to this law, the rate of compositional changes is equal to the diffusivity times the rate of the change of the concentration gradient. In facilitated diffusion, it is mediated transport process that move molecules from higher to lower concentration across the membrane by means of transporter until the two concentrations become equal. And finally, a large number of genetic diseases result from the defect in the various proteins that from ion channels and transport proteins also affect both two-compartment and multi-compartment diffusion in biological system and cause disease, example like cystic fibrosis. Thank you.